What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jack, and I'm back with another episode of A Daily Dose. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a video from the creator Life as Kiki. The title of the video is Delete the Apps and Get Off Your Phone. I thought this was a pretty interesting video to break down or just check out. Let's see what she has to say, and then let's see what we have to say about it. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video.
7 months ago, I made the decision to delete social media and to see what my life would look like without it. I deleted Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for a period. The goal was to see what would happen to me without these apps on my phone. And let me tell you, the result is that it really is these phones. The reason why you're not where you want to be in life is these phones. The reason why you can't get stuff done is these phones. The reason why you can't be content with your life because you're always comparing yourself to other people is these phones. Deleting social media was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I ended up deleting some of the apps permanently, which we're going to talk about today. But overall, I did this to really heal my social media addiction, which is a little uncomfortable to say that I had an addiction to social media because you don't think of it as something serious, but it is a serious issue.
I have to agree with her on that. I don't think it's necessary. I think everybody's addicted for sure at this point. Your phone is pretty much like your left or right hand, depending on what hand you're dominant with. Point being, you're going to want it. You're going to need it. It's going to be with you most of the day. Even when you sleep, it's going to be on the nightstand or somewhere close to you. Limiting your time on social media apps, though, that is really good for overall mental health and helps you be more productive. Me personally, I listen to stuff as I multitask. So I might be listening to something, but at the same time, I'm actively moving, physically doing something. And I think that helps.
I will go ahead and tell y'all that this is not me judging you, okay? This is a judgment-free zone. That's why I wanted to tell y'all that I had a social media addiction. Guys, I would wake up, snooze my alarm to doom scroll. I would go to sleep and scroll myself to sleep. I would be at work, and anytime I had downtime, I would scroll on my phone. It was bad. I could not be present or anything because of my social media addiction. So we're going to talk about it today. I hope by the end of this, you will say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a break for a while and watch what happens. The first thing I wanted to talk about was just my day-to-day with social media. I didn't know it was a problem until it got to the point where I felt very tired for some reason. I'm like, why am I always so tired? Why do I never feel like I got enough rest? But it was because I scrolled a lot. I would wake up in the middle of the night, maybe to go get some water or to use the restroom, and I would scroll. That was the main push to get me to finally delete social media. First thing I wanted to talk about though was the apps that I deleted permanently. Starting with Facebook. Facebook was just boring to me. I did not doom scroll on Facebook, but I do feel like I kept it because it kept me connected to a lot of people from middle school, high school, old co-workers. I kept it to kind of keep in touch with them. But I deleted Facebook after a while because I just felt like I don't even really talk to most of the people who I'm friends with in real life. So why have them on Facebook, or why have Facebook? So I deleted it. The second app I deleted was Instagram. Now, I'm not going to make this too long, but there's a lot of reasons why I deleted Instagram. Instagram was already an app that I would deactivate, reactivate. So I probably should have deleted it a long time ago. But first thing with Instagram is it is not fun to post. I would have so much anxiety whenever I would post anything. I would even post it to my story to be safe, but I never felt comfortable posting to my actual page. It just gave me so much anxiety, and I don't know if anyone else goes through that, but I was almost embarrassed to post anything, or I felt like my picture wasn't aesthetic enough. And you know how nowadays like people will have the picture of them and you swipe over and it's like a little quote, and then you swipe over, you know, it wasn't giving to me.
Yeah, that's one thing about Instagram. I noticed you kind of have to follow trends on Instagram for your post to be considered good or get some traction. So you really just got to use it for your own personal reasons. I would say mine being I look at it for inspiration for fashion, right? To get a couple ideas or yeah, well, there's people that I follow. They're mainly fashion related people, some fitness related people, things that I'm into just to see, if they're doing anything new or if I can look at something that they created, get some inspiration from it. However, it's very hard to be on that app, not see other people's lifestyle and compare yourself. It's something that I think we all do subconsciously. That's why I try to limit my time on Instagram and a lot of social media apps because with that time, not saying that it's not completely bad, but you do need to limit that time so you can be more productive and eventually become one of those people that other people look to for inspiration. Just like, in my case, I look for other people or I look to other people for inspiration on content that I want to create.
My stuff. So I never like posting. It's kind of silly, but it's real. Posting just made me feel very awkward. But another thing too, Instagram is the app where I compare my life to other people's a lot. I don't know. We're just being honest here, right? I would look at people buying their brand new Tesla or their AMG, and sometimes it would make me feel a way, especially really during the phase where I lost everything and I was broke. It just didn't make me feel good. Now I got some money now, but during that phase of going through my low season, that's really the last thing I wanted to see. I'm not trying to sound like a hater.
Yeah, and I'm glad she said that because I think we all go through rough patches in life. It looks different for everybody. And again, just because you're going through something and you don't want to necessarily see somebody else winning, it sounds like hate, but it's just like, or it just is the fact that you're in a place where you're not doing so well. Something might have went wrong. You might have made the wrong decision. You're just not winning right now. And it's not necessarily that you want to see other people lose. However, you want to be at a certain level of winning in order to appreciate others winning. Otherwise, it's just going to naturally make you feel bad about what you did. And it has nothing to do with hating. It's just my mindset is, dang, I messed up here. I could have been here or I could have had this moment, but I messed up a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago.
But when you're not where you want to be in life, you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? What am I missing? Like, why is this person who is the same age as me, why are they so much further ahead? I am messing up and they're doing it right. I shouldn't know that much about people, but I would know a lot.
One thing though about seeing it, seeing somebody else's highlight reel, because that's what Instagram basically is. You don't know what's going on in the background, who is helping them, what type of advantages they might have had over you, or they might not have had any advantages over you. They might just made some right decisions, but you don't know how long they've been grinding for, suffering for. We all spend time in that position. As far as looking, well, being on the outside of the glass looking in, but we don't know what's going on the inside. What happened to get to that point? All we know is we're here, we're in forever, however long that is, and you want to be on the other side.
Based off of what they posted, and it would cause me to compare myself a lot. So that was another thing that I hated about Instagram. A big thing too though is it kept me too connected to my past. Unlike Facebook, where my past was mainly co-workers and stuff on those pages, my Instagram was ex-friendships, ex-situationships. All right, sorry guys, my camera died. But yes, ex-situationships, ex-friendships, people who I don't talk to anymore would always be able to connect to me due to social media. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna sound really mean, but I hate when, not hate, excuse me, I don't like when people from my past reach out, because I feel like we should have just let sleeping dogs lie. There are people in my life who I rekindle with that I always had in my head that we will rekindle when we're both in different spaces in our life. So it's not those people. I'm talking about people who really kind of did me dirty that I really don't want to talk to ever again in life. And I stand on that. I'm not really a person who likes to double back. It would be a thing where maybe my homegirl posted me on her page, and because we're out to eat, next thing you know, I'm getting a DM, I hope you've been good, blah blah blah. Now keep in mind, he doesn't follow me, she just tagged me in something. Now he in my DMs. That would piss me off. I get so mad because I just feel like, not trying to say it like that, but when I don't talk to people anymore, I just feel like you should be kind of disappearing off the earth, like you don't exist, it's over. And I think that's another reason.
Well, in the case of a man, why would I do that? I'm gonna always try to spin the block and see if I can get more of what I got out of you. I mean, that's coming from the male perspective. You guys let me know in the comments, is this something that you would do? I understand deleting somebody, or deleting their contact information if they did you dirty, but that's something that you got to do. The guy don't got to do that. Unless you did him dirty, then he's probably gonna delete the contact information. Or he might not. He might just You might just be in that friends with benefits zone.
Why people stay in cycles with old friends and situationships, because of social media. You are connected to these people so easily. You're not gonna run into them at the store. I don't run into people from my past unless I go to like a party or something with people that I used to kick it with. But other than that, I don't run into people in my past. Social media, you're gonna always see them. You're gonna always run into them. They're gonna pop up on your For You page. They're gonna be a suggested friend. I didn't like that. I really like to move on with my life. So overall, like I said, it just keeps you super connected to your past, and it makes it so easy for people to access you. And then also just people knowing updates on your life, because that's really what social media is talking about what's going on in your life. But I didn't really like that either, because let me tell you, it was a thing where when I had my business, I was talking about it so much, right? And then when it failed, it's almost like I felt like I had to tell everybody like, oh, my business failed. And I'm not talking about my YouTube, I'm talking about just people who follow me on Instagram. It was like I need to tell them, hey, it didn't work out. You don't have to share anything that you don't want to share. The last big thing with Instagram.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's important to share the lowlights just as much as the highlights, so people can understand that it's not a quick process. It's not you just get it right on the first try. Most people who win for a long period of time, they lost a lot. They took a lot of L's earlier on, and really the L's are what help you maintain success. Because if you think about it, winning, what do you have to do? You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is pretty much accept it. Now, if you take a loss, now you got to figure things out. Now you got to start thinking. You got to start recalibrating, revisiting the moves that you made. Excuse me, trying to reconstruct what happened. Well, deconstruct, then reconstruct what happened so you won't make the same mistake again. Otherwise, you just give up. And why would you do that?
Instagram is, and I would say this with all the apps, is all of these apps are adding short form content to their platforms to keep people on there. People will say, oh, I'm not doing TikTok, y'all just doom scroll on TikTok, but they doom scroll on Instagram. On, what is it, Instagram Reels? Same difference. I had to pull back from that too, because I didn't really use Instagram after a while to like post and stuff, but more or less to doom scroll. I'll say, oh, I'm deleting TikTok and get on Instagram. Same, it's the same thing. The one that y'all don't want to delete, but I had to, was YouTube. The only reason why I re-downloaded it was because I deleted Apple Music. I can't stand paying for music. That's just not gonna be me. But YouTube is another one with that short form content. You can accidentally start doom scrolling on YouTube as well. So I caught myself doom scrolling on YouTube shorts for a while because I thought I was eating the game up by saying, oh, all I got is YouTube on my phone. I'm so sorry. You might have to listen to some podcasts, honey bun. If you scroll on YouTube too, you're gonna have to let that go for a while. Give it at least 30 days.
Yeah, it's just the short form content in general. Long form content, usually a different breed of human, for lack of a better word, will consume long form content. I personally like listening to long form content to get like a better understanding, idea, context on what the person is talking about. Shorts, you have to be quick with it, right? You got a couple of seconds to grab their attention and keep them on that video for like 60 seconds.
At least 30 days. That's what I did, 30. One thing that happened when I deleted social media, I had to figure out what to do when I was bored. Guys, I have read 8 books now in the Bible. The Bible is not easy to read. I couldn't even open it when I had social media though, because I was so bored. I could not read that Bible. But I have actually read, I'm very proud of myself for reading 8 books in the Bible. My house has been clean. Right now it's a mess because I just did laundry, but my house has never been as clean. I started cooking dinners that took a while to make. I had no patience when I had social media because that instant gratification. I started getting those little quickie meals from Trader Joe's. Here's a dinner hack that you can make in less than 5 minutes. It was so bad because I just wanted to get things done quickly. And when I deleted social media, it made me slow down. Just had slow mornings. Like, I started journaling every single day, sometimes multiple times a day because I was that bored. I read a book, The 4 Agreements. I haven't read a book. My brain can't do that. You know how long it took for me to get into that book? 15 minutes. I had to keep rereading chapter 1 because I wasn't absorbing it. All I was thinking about was the fact that I could not scroll. Find something to do in your boredom that doesn't cost money. So some of the things that I started doing was, like I said, reading books that have collected dust. You can get into maybe content creating and get into your hobbies more. I started getting things done. Like, I filed my taxes so fast. I have never filed my taxes that early. I always file almost by the deadline, but this time I was getting stuff done. I also noticed that I was never late to stuff because sometimes I would sit on my phone and doom scroll until it was time to go somewhere. Now I would get to places early because I had nothing else to do. All right, now let's touch on some of the downsides of deleting social media because this video is getting long. You're not gonna have a lot of people hitting you up because people gonna kind of forget about you. I didn't get invited to a lot of things just because I was out of sight, out of mind. It was no offense, because I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't think about people either. A lot of the reason why you have friends is because you have social media and y'all are friends on social media. Y'all not real friends in real life. Ouch. Yeah. Y'all.
Yeah, that's one thing too about social media. You can create friendships online. This is very possible. However, they're really most of the time I mean, the people, obviously the people aren't most of those people aren't your friends. They might just, they might look at you for numerous reasons. Again, like I gave you an example earlier. I follow a couple people because of their fashion sense. We're not friends, right? I just follow them so I can go look at, something that they post, outfit related. And it's usually people who dabble in fashion that I'm not that comfortable with. Some of them, they dabble in both sides, casual, urban, wear formal. I'll look at them just to see if they add anything new, if they switching anything up, trying any new colors or whatever. Just to get a little, again, just to get inspiration.
Not real friends in real life. Your real friends are the people who actually hit your phone, not the people who just hit you up on Instagram like, oh, what you doing tonight? Because they see you posted something. Oh, what's the move? And that doesn't mean that they are bad people. It's just y'all not friends. But you do feel very disconnected. You start to see like, dang, I only got 2 people wishing me a happy birthday instead of 8. Number 2 is that boredom made me do some things that were low vibrational. I'm not really a going out kind of girl and all that stuff, but I started drinking more and going out. In the first part of my cleanse, I'm not gonna hold you. You invite me out, I'm coming. I'm outside, okay? Because what else am I doing? I'm bored. Overall, once I let go of the boys and let go of like going to the club and stuff, and I stopped drinking completely, which that's another thing that happened during my cleanse, learning how to be bored was the best thing for me. To sit there and do nothing causes you to sit with yourself. And I was able to identify so many things that I need to work on within myself. Things I noticed about motherhood, things I noticed about just my job and how I view my job and my mindset. When you sit with yourself because you're bored, things start coming to you, right? I feel like you can hear God louder too when it's just quiet. Because when you delete social media, there's nothing. You're totally disconnected. You get to connect more to self. Deleting social media is gonna do a lot for you. And I hope I didn't just blab the whole video. I hope some things maybe resonated for you.
Okay, I'm gonna end it there. No, I think she has some very interesting points. The video's not done, guys. So if you want to finish the video, I'll make sure that I have it in the description box below so you can check it out. Give her a like, maybe leave her a comment. Um, but yeah, I personally have experienced this. There was a point in time where I decided that I was no longer gonna be going to the clubs. I never enjoyed it really anyway. It was just being social. I never enjoyed drinking. I only did it because it was social. You look awkward being in the club and you're not drinking and everybody else is drunk acting a fool and you the only sober person in there, and you just feel me personally, I felt odd and awkward being in there. But I decided I wasn't gonna go anymore. Stop drinking. Never really liked drinking like that anyway. I was a social drinker. And yeah, you do lose, I wouldn't say you lose friends, but you do lose like camaraderie to a certain degree because that's the one thing that's drawing you guys together. So if that is the one thing that's drawing you guys together and you remove that, then you remove that relationship essentially. However, you will find like-minded individuals as you pursue something else. And as you get older, you should prioritize health. You don't want to be old, broken, and beat up trying to get through life. And it is a waste of time and money, especially now. A lot of the money that you would blow on a Saturday or a Friday, $300-400, you can take that money, invest it into whatever market you prefer. Stock market, crypto markets, precious metals, they're all type of high yield saving vehicles that you can put some of that money into, and you will have a return at some point at a later point in time. 5, 10 years, 15, 20, depends on how much you want to put in there. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Remember to take care of yourselves, drink water, hit the gym. If I don't see you in the comments, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.